Hanuman, the devoted monkey god and Rama's loyal companion, represents selfless service and unwavering devotion. His role in the epic, especially in the Sundara Kanda, highlights the power of devotion and the boundless strength that arises from pure, selfless love.
And when you look at Ramayana, the way Sita was treated, these examples of women being treated by men the way they want to treat them, they have certainly left an imprint in the minds of Indian men. We have dramatized them, put them in a very good way, and our grandfathers recite these poems, and these are day-to-day household stories. It's Ramayana, Mahabharata, and many more stories. How do we expect the current Indian man to not treat his wife like Sita or not treat his wife like Draupadi?
Before we talk about the Ramayana, let's first watch Sadhguru's video.
Since you've mentioned Mahabharata, Ramayana and all the scriptures, and also we've been speaking about
If I can correct that.
Please.
See, we should not misunderstand what is a scripture and what is a very organic way of writing our history. An epic is a historical document written in a lively form so that it's relevant to you all the time. See, right now, the modern way of… Western way of writing history is like this. This king came, he killed so many people, he did this, he did that, he died. And next one came, he did this, he did that, he died. What are you going to do with this? I'm saying 1,000 years ago, somebody lived or died, what does it matter to you? But when you read Ramayana, Mahabharata, these are live stories so that you can relate it to you even today. So this is genuinely learning from the past. Because the basis of being human is just this, that we can learn from somebody else's experience. All the nonsense need not happen to us. By seeing something is happening to somebody, we can learn. Maybe it happened 5,000 years ago, but we can still correct our lives by looking at what happened to them. So, historical documents written in a very organic way need not be mistaken for scriptures. There is nothing scriptural about Mahabharata or Ramayana, they're just stories. History which is written in a way that it'll always be relevant for people's lives.
Exactly, that is my point. Mahabharata, Ramayana, they are very, very relevant to our society. And when you look at Ramayana, the way Sita was treated, these examples of women being treated by men the way they want to treat them, they have certainly left an imprint in the minds of Indian men. There's no doubt about that. Since you said these are the learnings that we take from the past, and we have dramatized them, put them in a very good way, and our grandfathers recite these poems, and these are day-to-day household stories. So my question to you, Sadhguruji, is, when you have to learn from these things, when you have been learning from these things from generations, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and many more stories, how do we expect the current Indian man to not treat his wife like Sita or not treat his wife like Draupadi? I mean, for this generation, we truly want to understand how do you, unlearn these things that we have learned all our life, and how do you hit a refresh button and start all over again by looking at a woman as a respectable figure, as an individual, as a person living and some thinking in her. How do we teach this to our children? That is what I want to learn from.
Let me ask the ladies, would they like to be treated like Sita? Let me put it in the right perspective. Suppose you were living in Uttar Pradesh, not today, 5,000 years ago, and a man came from Sri Lanka and kidnapped you. Would you like a man who will walk all the way to Sri Lanka to find you, or find a practical solution locally, because anyway he was king? I'm asking you, what kind of man do you want in your life? The man walked all the way, fought a battle, burned down a city to get back his wife. It's not a small thing.
But then he again gave her an Agni Pariksha, he didn't trust his wife.
See,
so, I mean…
we are taking these words literally. Agni Pariksha did not mean somebody has to enter the fire. It meant she was put through some test. Of course, because you're the king, everybody's looking at you as an ideal. How you behave, what you do is very important because the entire nation's life depends on you. Today, our biggest problem is this in the country. This is the Dhritarashtra syndrome from then to now, okay? So, he is setting an example in those days. It doesn't matter, she's pregnant, that means his sons are inside. For a king, his sons are important because it's an empire. But in spite of that, he sends her to the jungle because otherwise there's disruption in the country. You seeing this as a negative thing? I think we need such prime ministers and leaders in this country. No matter what, for the well-being of the nation, they will do what is needed. Bhadrachalam Ramadas Garu is a poet saint from 17th century, a devotee par excellence. He composed hundreds of songs which are sung even today. It actually accounts to the main body of compositions for Carnatic music. When he sang, it was an outpouring of all his emotions. This is the dimension of devotion, where devotion is not just about sweetness of love, but everything. His anger, his fear, his anxiety, his struggles, his love, his passion, everything was devoted to Rama. Because this is what a devotee means. A devotee is using the objective devotion as a means to dissolve into it. This is a technology of obliterating yourself. Bhadrachalam Ramadas is doing this in a very passionate and fantastic way, and he's been an inspiration for generations and still is and will continue to be. On this Ramanavami day, please listen to some of his compositions, very sweet, childlike, but profound.
Ye tirugananu dayachuchadavo inavam shottama Rama natarama bhava sagaramidhanu nalinadhalekshana Rama Shri Raghunandana Sita Ramana Sritajana Poshaka Rama Karunyalaya Bhaktavaradhaninu Kannadikanupurama Krura Karma Mulu Neraka chesiti neramulancha kurama Dharidryamu pariharamu chayave Daivashikamani Rama Dharidryamu pariharamu chayave Daivashikamani Rama Vasavanuta Ramadasa Poshaka Vandhanamayodhya Rama Dasarchita Makabayamu Sanghave Dasharati Raghurama Dasarchita Makabayamu Sanghave Dasharati Raghurama Dasarchita Makabayamu Sanghave Dasharati Raghurama Rama 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 Rama
The Ramayana, composed in Sanskrit, narrates the life and adventures of Prince Rama, his wife Sita, and his loyal companion Hanuman, and it explores the profound principles of dharma and the eternal battle between good and evil. Authorship and historical context. The origins of the Ramayana are deeply rooted in Hindu mythology. Valmiki, the revered sage, is traditionally credited with its composition. According to legend, Valmiki was inspired to narrate the life of Rama, an incarnation of the god Vishnu, after witnessing a poignant incident involving a bird. Valmiki's poetic composition, coupled with his deep spiritual insight, resulted in the creation of the epic. Historically, pinpointing an exact date for the composition of the Ramayana is challenging. It is generally believed to have been composed during the Treta Yuga, an era in Hindu cosmology that predates the current age, Kali Yuga. This would place the events of the Ramayana several thousand years ago. However, it is essential to note that the dating of ancient texts often involves a degree of speculation, and the scholars may differ in their interpretations. Narrative overview. The Ramayana is divided into 7 books or kandas, each serving a specific purpose in advancing the narrative and exploring different aspects of the story. Balakanda, the Book of Youth. This section introduces the main characters, including King Dasaratha, Queen Kausalya, and the birth of Rama. It sets the stage for Rama's life and the unfolding of the epic. Ayodhya Khanda, the Book of Ayodhya. Rama's exile to the forest is detailed in this book, along with the poignant scene of his departure from Ayodhya. It also covers the abduction of Sita by the demon king Ravana. Aranya Khanda, the Book of the Forest. This book narrates Rama's life in exile, his interactions with various sages and ascetics, and the events leading to the abduction of Sita by Ravana. Kishkinda Khanda, the Book of the Kishkinda. The focus shifts to the search for Sita, and Rama forms an alliance with the monkey king Sugriva and his minister Hanuman. This book introduces Hanuman and lays the groundwork for his pivotal role in the epic. Sundara Kanda, the Book of Beauty. Hanuman's journey to Lanka to locate Sita is the central theme of this book. It narrates his encounters, including the meeting with Sita and his subsequent actions in Lanka. Yuddha Kanda, the Book of War. The epic culminates in a great battle between Rama and Ravana. This book explores the principles of righteous duty and the inevitable conflict between good and evil. Uttarakanda, the Book of Concluding Episode. This final book concludes the epic with Rama's return to Ayodhya, the trial of Sita's purity, and the establishments of Rama's rule. Cultural impact and moral teachings. The Ramayana has left an indelible mark on the cultural, religious, and philosophical fabric of South Asia. Its impact extends beyond the boundaries of Hinduism, influencing the literature, art, and traditions of various communities. The epic provides a rich tapestry of characters and events that serve as moral lessons and philosophical reflections. The central theme of the Ramayana revolves around the concept of dharma, the righteous duty that individuals must adhere to in their lives. Rama, often regarded as the embodiment of dharma, faces numerous challenges and sacrifices in upholding his duty as a prince, husband, and ultimately as a king. Sita too exemplifies unwavering devotion and resilience in the face of adversity. Hanuman, the devoted monkey god and Rama's loyal companion, represents selfless service and unwavering devotion. His role in the epic, especially in the Sundara Kanda, highlights the power of devotion and the boundless strength that arises from pure, selfless love. The Ramayana also explores the consequences of actions, the complexities of human relationships, and the importance of justice. It dwells into the moral dilemmas faced by the characters and the choices they make, emphasizing the eternal struggle between right and wrong. Variations and adaptations. Over the centuries, the Ramayana has undergone numerous adaptations and retellings across different regions and linguistic traditions. These variations often incorporate local customs, beliefs, and cultural nuances, resulting in diverse interpretation of the epic. One notable retelling is the Ramcharitamanas, written by the medieval saint Tulsidas in Awadhi language. This version, composed in the 16th century, is revered by millions and holds a special place in the hearts of devotees. Historical and archaeological perspectives. While the events of the Ramayana are primarily considered a part of Hindu mythology, some scholars have explored the possibility of historical elements within the epic. Archaeological findings such as the discovery of the ancient bridges and sites associated with the Ramayana have fueled debates about the historical basis of the narrative. However, it is essential to approach these discussions with caution as the line between mythology and the history can be blurred. The Ramayana, as a religious and cultural text, primarily serves as a guide for moral and spiritual conduct rather than strict historical record, legacy, and continuing relevance. The Ramayana's legacy endures through its continued relevance in various facets of life. Its teachings on morality, duty, and devotion remain integral to Hindu philosophy. The epic has also transcended religious boundaries, finding resonance in the literary and artistic expressions of diverse cultures. The characters of Rama, Sita, and Hanuman are not confined to religious worship. They have become symbols of virtue, resilience, and devotion that inspire people across different backgrounds. The timeless themes explored in the Ramayana continue to offer guidance and contemplations to individuals navigating the complexities of life. In conclusion, the Ramayana stands as a monumental work that has shaped the spiritual and cultural landscape of the Indian subcontinent. Its profound teachings of duty, morality, and the eternal struggle between good and evil have transcended the boundaries of time and continue to resonate with people seeking wisdom and inspiration. Whether through religious rituals, artistic expressions, or philosophical contemplation, the Ramayana remains an enduring beacon of light, guiding generations on the path of righteous and spiritual awakening.